Hi Flosstube, it's Tina Fraser coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. It's about 11:15 on Friday, September 22nd. It's 11:15 p.m. on Friday, September 22nd. And I'd like to talk to you today a little bit about some stuff I got in the mail today, and also show you some more works in progress that I have. Sorry about that. My nose is itching just a little bit. My husband and I had a bit of a date night tonight. We went out to one of our favorite local Mexican restaurants. We stopped by Rita's Frozen Custard for some dessert. We ended up at Half Price Bookstore where I found a cross-stitch book that I can show you, and a baby shower gift for the baby shower I'm going to on Sunday. And of course I had to buy we went to the Walmart that was near there so I could get the baby shower gift bag and the tissue paper to wrap the gift and everything. But anyway, so I figured I'd start off with talking to you about the order that I got today from 123 Stitch. I believe I showed you. Give me just a second. I'm going to pause for a minute and dig it out. Give me just a second. Okay, it's me again. I believe I showed you this last time. This was part of the Mill Hill Nativity trilogy that I had from before. This is Mary. I had taken Mary with me several years back. It's probably been 8 years ago now. I had taken Mary with me on an airplane trip to California. And I pulled her out mid-flight, and I was stitching on her. And we had a layover somewhere, and she was in a baggie. I had her in a baggie with all her little goodies. And I had stuffed her in the front pocket of the seat in front of me on the airplane. And when we landed and we deplaned, I walked off the plane and left her in the pocket on the plane. So I had to pick up a new one of her. This is the new one. I haven't started her yet. There's the perforated paper for her, but I haven't started her yet. And my plan is, my husband and I are flying to California in about 2 weeks to visit my parents, and she's going with me again. Hopefully I don't leave her on the plane. Hopefully I don't leave her on the plane. Now, it was really funny at my local cross-stitch store Wednesday night stitch-in group. I kind of told the story again, and we kind of half laughed that when I said that I couldn't remember if I had purchased the Joseph or the baby and cow nativity kits, the two other ones in this trilogy for the Mill Hill kit, when I originally bought the very first Mary. I can't find them anywhere in my stash, so I'm guessing either I misplaced them, like I've misplaced quite a few other things, or I just didn't buy them. So I wanted to get them quicker than my local needlework shop could get them for me, so I could take them to California with me in 2 weeks. So I went on 123 Stitch and I ordered Joseph and the baby. So I got these two kits in my 123 Stitch thing today. Joseph and the baby. Okay, so these are part 2 and 3 of the trilogy. So now I have like all three sets of the trilogy: Mary, Joseph, and the baby. So I also previously had, pardon me, I also had previously picked up the Magi trilogy. These were already in my stash, so I have these. So knowing that I had these, and I had Mary, Joseph, and the baby, there are 6 other Mill Hill kits for this series. I picked up only 3 of them, which are, this one is Luke, the shepherd. This one is Gloria, the angel, one of the angels. And then this one is Benjamin, the other shepherd. I don't know if Luke and Benjamin are in the Nativity series, but nonetheless, I have these 3. So that makes 9. I have 9 in the series. There are 3 others, 3 other angels that kind of go with this kit. They're both playing, all 3 of them are playing instruments, and tonight I dropped back into my local needlework shop, crossed my heart here in Columbus, and placed an order for the other 3 because I knew that I didn't need them right away, and you know, they could order them on their time frame, and I would just get them when they get in. So I have the other 3 on order. Now, knowing that, looking online this week also, I found a stitch group on Facebook for the Mill Hill Christmas Village kits. And apparently, I think there's like almost 20 of them, or 20 of them that could be part of the Christmas Village set. And there's a Facebook group for the Mill Hill Village Christmas set where quite a few of the members are doing any combination of the Christmas Village buildings as on a big piece of fabric with like snowflake border and everything like that. And I think I really want to try that. But the problem is I'd want to put all of them, like all 20 some of them on there. And, you know, $10 a piece plus the fabric, about $10 a piece for the kit plus the fabric. And, well, yeah, there's like a $300 project right there, almost, by the time I get the fabric and all the other stuff that I need to work on them. So yeah. Oh wow, you know, look, here's another project, dream project of mine. So if you happen to be out there, you happen to be on the you know, the Mill Hill Christmas Village Facebook group. I just joined the group today, and hope to kind of get involved in that too. I don't have any of the Christmas Village sets yet, but they are on my wish list, and I don't know if I can even collect all of them, because I do want all of them. I don't know if I can collect all of them before they go out of print, which might be part of my problem, because had I been actively stitching for the last several years, I probably would have been collecting them up until now, and it wouldn't be an issue. But, you know, I lost my stitching bug. I hadn't been to my cross-stitch store in quite a while, and I just wasn't going anywhere where I was even actively stitching, except on Heaven and Earth designs. You know, I've been kind of working on those. You'll see a few of my pieces here in a minute. But anyway, that's that. I'll pause for just a second. I need to pick up something that fell on the floor that I'm going to talk about. Okay, so while I was shopping on 123 Stitch for the nativity set, the remaining Mill Hill bead kits I was going to get, last week at my local cross-stitch store, Stitch Group, one of the ladies was using a trolley needle, and I was kind of watching her because I'd seen trolley needles before, but I had never actually watched one being used. Now, I've used one or two different laying tools over the years. The one that I'm currently using is this little metal piece right here. It's got a squared, it's kind of squared on this end, and it's really pointy sharp on this end, like right here. It's real pointy sharp. I don't know if you can see that. I don't even remember where this came from, what laying tool this is. I don't have no idea. I really like it because it sticks to all my needle minders. But the one thing I don't care for really much about is the fact that the needle, the tip, the pointy tip is really sharp. I've actually gouged my fingers using this, and it is pretty short. I mean, I have small hands, and you can see, you know, my hand basically could cover up most of the needle tool, and it is kind of tiny. You know, it's not exactly the easiest thing to hold for long periods of time. So I love this laying tool, but you know, when I also tend to stitch two-handed. I use a floor frame with a scroll frame, or I put my Q snaps on my floor frame, and I can show you that at another time, kind of show you how I stitch. But I stitch two-handed with my dominant right hand underneath the piece, poking through, my left hand pulling and putting back through. And in my left hand is where the laying tool goes, because that's the top of my project, and I can easily see how flat and straight the stitches are by using the laying tool. So I really like using laying tools. It's helped my stitching look pretty uniform all the way across, and I really like it a lot. Now, before I got this laying tool, I had found double pointed knitting sock needles. This is just one of the set of 5 of double pointed knitting sock needle, and I was using this as a laying tool. Well, this is nice too, but the problem with this is it's a lot lighter than this, because this has a little bit of weight on this end. This is a lot lighter than that other tool. It's bigger, but I don't know, I just kind of didn't really like this one because I couldn't get the weight behind it, and I just didn't care for it. So my local needle workshop was out of trolley needles. So on 1, 2, 3 Stitch, I actually found that they had trolley needles. So I picked one of these up. I haven't yet got to try it, but I'm really hopeful this will help me, especially with the smaller projects that I'm going to stitch in hand and travel with this summer, or in a couple weeks when I go out west to visit my family. I'm hoping that I can learn to use this and get it working for me. When you open it up, these seem pretty nice, and from what I gather, the easiest thing to do, you put them on your thumb, so they sit on your thumb kind of like that, you know, with the thing under your pad, and you use the needle. It's pretty blunt. It's kind of a sturdy needle though, or sturdy needle tip. And you just use it and you run your threads across it, and it's supposed to help you lay flat. And the one lady at the cross stitch store, let me pull out. One lady at the cross stitch store, I don't have a good example to show you, but like we can just use one of these. But she'd hold her piece like this, and she'd slide this up under her floss, run her floss over. And then, you know, so she was holding with this hand and using the trolley needle wherever she needed it to go. Now, when I stitch two-handed, I'd usually hold the thing on, you know, pull the thing through, put it back down where it needed to go, slide this under. But with this, you know, I can probably maneuver it where I need it to be without having to constantly hold something else in my hand, trying to pull the needle through. So anyway, I got my trolley needle. Looking forward to giving it a shot. Hope I don't poke my eye out because that would hurt. But anyway, there's my trolley needle. And this is what you can get, the trolley needle thread controller. The multi-purpose tool, your helper for many craft projects like applying sequins, machine stitching ruffles, seams, and hems, position materials for gluing, smocking, controlling multiple threads. Use with caution, protective eye covering recommended. It's by Yarnworks Inc. in Sharon, Wisconsin. And they give a phone number and fax. Oh, there's information on the inside. It gives instructions on how to use it for satin smoothness when stitching with many types of threads. And here's how to use the trolley needle. Well, there you go. I don't know if I gave you enough time to read it, but yeah, you can probably find instructions on how to use the trolley needle, but I'm hoping that this will help me when I travel, so I don't need to worry about this and, like, you know, poking things with it. The only thing is I'm not really sure how these travel on planes, so I'm probably going to check this in my baggage and just railroad my stitches. That's one of the other things that I've used to keep my threads from twisting on the top. And you can put your needle through between the two threads to what's called railroad your threads to keep them looking like this as opposed to like this on top of your fabric. It keeps your stitches looking prettier when you can railroad and separate your strands of floss. But that's it for my 1, 2, 3 stitch stash that I got. Anyway, tonight, while my husband and I were out, we stopped by Half Price Books, which is a local discount bookstore that obviously sells books, used books, at half the cost. They have videos, they have games, they have puzzles, they have video games, board games, they have children's books, they have the college textbooks. Now, granted, they're out-of-date college textbooks, but they have college textbooks, you know, all kinds of books you could ever hope to want. And most of them are half price. They have some collectible books, obviously, that aren't half price. But we stopped in there tonight, and if you give me just a second, I'm going to locate the book that I picked up there. Sorry about that. I'm back. I had to pick up a couple other things and take care of a couple of small things. But anyway, the book that I got tonight from Half Price Books is called Fill the House with Cross Stitch by Catherine Austin. And this is what the cover looks like. You can see I got it for $8, which is a pretty good steal for Half Price Books. For a half price book or a discount book. This is a Sterling Shell Pill book from Sterling Publishing Company Incorporated out of New York. The back says, use your home as a showcase for dozens of easy-to-make, great-looking cross-stitch projects. Whether you've been stitching for years or you've just begun, it's easy to make these samplers, cushions, tablecloths, towels, and other decorative pieces. Getting started has never been simpler with these easy-to-follow instructions, and the full-color photographs throughout provide plenty of inspiration for you to cross-stitch a beautiful item for every room in the home. Alright, so I'm going to do a little flip-through for it, trying not to show you many of the projects. Anyway, so here's some of the projects in the book. Sorry about the glare. No, I can't get this right. Alright, so we're talking about living rooms here. This is just the stocking. Here's a Northwood stocking. The other part was just the stocking cutting pattern. So the graphs look pretty huge. I can show you a little bit of the graph. You won't be able to see. The graphs are pretty huge in this. I mean, really. Split into several pages. Now, the only thing I don't see is it doesn't look like these patterns. Normally, when patterns are split on separate pages, you have little gray areas that overlap on each page. This pattern book doesn't seem to have the overlapping thing, so you just have to keep that in mind when you're looking at it. Did I just show you that one? Oh, maybe I didn't. So the first one was the stocking. The first one was the stocking. Then we have the Northwoods sampler, which has bears and moose and deer. We have this. I don't have to worry about the pattern here, but we have the border sampler pillow. You can't really see that. It looks like a lot of these colors are probably more pastel in this. This one's really cute, and if I had a clock like this, I'd probably do it. I'm going to take off this outside paper cover for now. But you have the Heavenly Timekeeper. The variegated pillow. That's actually kind of cute. That actually might make a little, a nice little Christmassy type ornament if you change the colors in it. Then we have the ship sampler. Then we have the mallard mat. It's a picture frame with ducks, mallard ducks, quack quack. And then we have the house sampler. Sorry. The house sampler. And this is actually the reason why I bought the book. There's a thing in here called the trim tree. The trimmed tree. This is the reason why I bought this book. I kind of liked this pattern. It's just a snow-covered trimmed Christmas tree outdoors. And I really liked this one. So this is actually why I bought the book. I figure for $8, that's a pretty good steal. I probably would have paid that if it got it separately. I don't know that this book tells you who the designers are. But no. And I'm not sure if the company is actually the designer on this. Yeah, this stitch tree is actually cute. It's very cute. And the interesting thing is, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 DMC colors in this whole tree. But that's why I bought this book. Anyway, so then we move on to chapter 2, which is dining rooms. Here's the pictures for chapter 2. You have a teapot, and then some tea towels, and it looks like a wine bottle bag. This looks like a placemat. Sorry. Placemat. You have a fruit sachet. Sorry, can you see those? I'm sorry. Fruit sachet. Bread basket type types of cloths. You have in these you have the muffins, coffee, tea, cake, cookies. And this is a wine bag. So you have the pattern for the wine bag. Then you have a leaf table runner. Leaf table runner. A peach kitchen towel. Delft teapots. Now I'm guessing this is kind of similar. Oh, I know what Delft is. Delft is that blue and white ceramic stuff, or ceramic pottery that you can get. Yeah. So this is kind of cute. 2 blue and white Delft teapots for you to stitch. Then you have the farm animal sampler. Chapter 3 is bathrooms. Bathrooms, chapter 3. You have porcelain jars. Sorry about the pattern. Porcelain jars. Hand towels. Sorry about the glare. Quilt squares. These might actually be really cute Christmas things. I don't know if I got them all in there. Quilt squares. Stitched bands for tissue boxes and whatnot. Pansy Passion. This is just a little decorative thing. It's a heart with pansies and stuff around it. And the saying says, what does the saying say? Joys come from simple and natural things. Then you have some nesting dolls in a nice little pattern. They're actually kind of cute. It's alright. It's an alright pattern. The little babushka nesting dolls. Then you have a crystal jar, which looks like just a basic jar topper. Rosy bath towel. Chapter 4 is bedrooms. Chapter 4, bedrooms. Looks like some goose, some airplane, Jack in the Box. So you have a Little Bo Peep table runner for the dresser. Little Bo Peep. Jack in the Box sampler. A piney sachet. It's probably something you can put in your sock drawers or your underwear drawers, probably to help repel moths, maybe. Then you have Baby's Bomber blanket. This is the little airplane one. This is really cute. Little bomber airplanes. Those are cute. Baby's Sleeping, a door hanger. A doorknob hanger. Kick Up Your Heels. This looks like just a decorative pillow. This is really cute. I didn't notice this before. It has 3 little cowboy boots. That's really cute. Back in the day, I used to go country line dancing with a friend of mine. We would go 8 nights a week. Yeah, we would go 8 nights a week, and we spend 4 or 5 hours out on that dance floor just eating it all up. We used to love country line dancing. And it was the best form of exercise I ever got. Back when we first started going that much, I dropped 3 pant sizes in 2 months. So it was a good workout. We were drinking lots of water, but we really never changed our diet. We just danced a lot. Alright, so now you know a little bit more about me. I used to country line dance. I kind of miss it. I kind of wish I could get back into it. But to go line dancing, I'd have to drive half hour to 45 minutes one way to go. And my husband doesn't like country music, and I can't really ask him to sit there for a couple of hours. Usually by the time I would get ready and get out the door after eating dinner and spending some time with my husband, I'd be getting there at like 10 o'clock at night. And I work in the morning. I got to get back home. I'd only be able to stay there a half an hour to an hour. Then I'd have to drive back home. Not really worth the trip at that point. So anyway, the next one in the book is a Christmas candle screen. Now, these are really cute. This is really cute. And I don't know if I would make it a candle screen. I think candle screens were used in older houses. I'm not exactly sure their significance and why they were important, but I would probably just make this a wall hanging. But this is listed as a Christmas candle screen. A Christmas candle screen. And then we have a bear clock. I'm not so big on this pattern. It's not anything that would go with my decor. It's the bear clock. Although it looks like there's some Boyd's bears right next to that. Oh, these are cute. And this is called Les Animaux, which means the animals in French. It's Les Animaux. Les Animaux. Les Animaux. I took French in high school, so. But you have the bunnies at the top, the goose, and the kitties. The kitties are cute. The bunnies are cute. The goose are cute. The geese are cute. But probably stitch the bunnies and the cats. But I don't know that I'd stitch the geese. Cute though. Les Animaux. And I believe that might be all of the patterns in the book. Yep. And then the back of the book just gives you some general instructions. You know, some basic general cross-stitch instructions. It's kind of what it is. It talks about waist canvas, preparing your fabric, graphs, how to center your design, the types of floss, needles, stuff like that. So it gives you a general overview of cross stitch. And it also goes into different stitching things, codes, how to secure your floss, cleaning your completed work, sewing hints, what a slip stitch is, marking your fabric, enlarging your patterns, mitering a corner. This could be interesting. It tells you how to, like, you know, miter a corner, do cording, some basic stitches, and it gives you a conversion. It gives you conversion charts, inches to millimeters and centimeters, and yards to meters. I don't know if you'd ever need to know that, but you'd have it here if you needed it. Then, of course, the index at the back. So this is what the book looks like without the paper sleeve. It's called Fill the House with Cross Stitch. And this is the paper sleeve, Fill the House with Cross Stitch. It's a Sterling Chappell book. Fill the House with Cross Stitch, Sterling Chappell. So this is what I got at my half price bookstore. All right. Well, seeing as how this video is already 30 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of cut this one here, and I will start working on my work in progress one, because that one's gonna take me a little bit, my whip parade thing, because I put all my whip parades on the end of the couch that's like right across from me, so I can start to show you guys some of the things I'm working on. I have a lot, or at least I have more works in progress than my husband or anybody else that knows me thinks I should have. Now, if it were up to me, I'd be starting probably some new ones every day, every other day, every 10 minutes. I don't know. I have enough that I could start quite a bit. And I actually kind of really need to get some small ones completed, or at least some close to being completed. But I can kind of show you a little bit of some of the stuff that I have going, and hopefully it will inspire you, or you can give me encouragement to keep going, because some of them are in very differing stages of completion, as you will see. And hopefully I hope to change that very soon. But anyway, so that's it for my 5th Flosstube installment. It's about 11:50 now on Friday, and I think I've talked your ear off tonight, so I'm gonna call it a day. Oh, little funny story about my shirt. So I went to college at the University of Wyoming in Laramie, Wyoming. The Wyoming Cowboys are the team that I kind of really claim to root for. I live in Columbus, Ohio. We used to live near Ohio State University. We used to live near the campus. I am not an Ohio State University fan. I don't root for the Suckeyes. Notice I call them the Suckeyes because I think they suck. I also don't like Michigan, so there is that. That should make all the Buckeyes that I just offended a little happy that at least I also don't like Michigan. But I don't really like the Suckeyes. I like Wyoming, mainly because I went there for 3 years, but also because that's where my grandfather graduated from college, and that's why I went there in Wyoming for 3 years before I came to Ohio. But so at work, every once in a while, we have jersey days where they allow us to wear jerseys. Today wasn't one of them, but I had bought this jersey, this football jersey. It's in brown and gold, and it has the Wyoming Cowboys logo on it. This is one of the state of Wyoming logos, and the school colors are brown and gold, which actually just happened to be my high school colors too. So when I went from a high school whose colors were brown and gold to a college whose colors were brown and gold. So I kind of like brown and gold together as a thing. But anyway, I bought this jersey online because all these years I haven't been able to wear jerseys on Jersey Friday. So I found this jersey for $30. You don't find jerseys online for $30. Now, hopefully I won't get the same reaction from a lot of people here that I have been getting today wearing this jersey. I had somebody ask me if I made the jersey, because they're like, we never see brown and gold together. Who wears those colors? Well, I do. Hello. High school and college, I wore those colors. And I had somebody ask me, well, is that the Dallas Cowboys? Because I've never seen them wear that color. That's not like their training camp colors or anything. Is that like a training camp color? No. Is that professional? No. Okay, well, we were kind of wondering if maybe it was like, one of those new teams that, they're hoping to kick off. I'm like, no, it's the University of Wyoming. Oh. At least I didn't get what state is that in. Because then I would have had to go back to geography in school and take another class. But anyway, I didn't at least get that. And somebody was like, oh, that's the college that would be in the state just above Colorado. And I'm like, yes. And the University of Wyoming is the only 4-year college in the entire state of Wyoming, and it's only in Laramie, Wyoming. Now, the interesting thing is being here in Columbus, Ohio, I have seen commercials for WyoTech, which is Wyoming Technical College, which is a little bit outside of the town of Laramie, and it's more of a technical college. We used to say that, people would go to WyoTech because they couldn't get into UW. And then in Cheyenne, Wyoming, they have a community college, which is Laramie County Community College, LCCC, or LCCC. UW students used to call it Last Chance Cowboy College. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so... But yeah, this is the jersey from the state I used to, the university I used to go to, University of Wyoming, Wyoming Cowboys in Laramie, Wyoming. Laramie is about 50 miles west of Cheyenne, off of Interstate 80, and you could drive from Laramie down through Fort Collins, Colorado, into Denver. I used to drive that quite a bit. That was a nice drive. Used to drive into Cheyenne because when I was in school in there in the early 90s, my grandfather still lived in Cheyenne. So most weekends I would hop in my car and head over and go spend the weekend with him, And that was always fun. Then in 92 I came to Ohio and all that changed. But I'm still kind of a Wyoming girl at heart. I grew up, my grandparents would always give me University of Wyoming stuff just because, that's where my grandfather went. So he was a UW alumni. He was always a cowboy. We'd, sometime in the summers when I was out there visiting from California, we'd drive over to Laramie. We'd take the hour drive over into Laramie for Shriner football games and stuff. So I had been on campus quite a bit growing up, and well, I just kind of went there, and it was kind of nice. Laramie, where the university is located at, has a population of 24,000 people. The third biggest city in the state of Wyoming. Cheyenne is the biggest city in the state of Wyoming, and when I was at school there, they were at like 53,000, maybe it was like 56,000. So if you can imagine, 56,000 is the biggest city in the state. Yeah. I had friends in college. I grew up in Los Angeles. So for me to go to someplace where the biggest, the population there was 24,000, that was quite the change. And I had some friends in college who had never been in a city as big as Laramie. Oh my gosh, they had culture shock because they'd never been in a city that big. Yeah, that was a little weird. But the good thing is I got to drive because I had a car, and I was one of the few people on campus that had my own car, so I got to go everywhere. Like, we'd take shopping trips down to Denver, and of course they couldn't drive in Denver traffic because they'd never been in a city that big, so I got to do all the driving. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, I drove all over when I was there. It was great. and I would probably go back there and live. But anyway, I digress, and it's been about 40 minutes now, and I've talked your ear off, so I really am going to let you go for tonight. And I really hope that you've enjoyed my my Stashquisition and my walkthrough, my book through, and I will let you go. The next time, I hope to bring you some more whips of mine in a small, hopefully not very long whip parade, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks. Have a good night.